Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGFH semifinals. We're here with the national final bracket. And oh boy, is it good to be here. I've been here a couple times already on the stream, but I'm going to have a little bit of a new face with me. I'm Squid, joined now by my good friend Sidazet.
Hello.
Again, not a familiar face, but how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready to cast the this matchup between these two top-level teams today.
Right, well, this is again the Season 2 National Semifinals, and the teams that we have playing on both sides, we should probably mention the Connecticut region. We got the Woodstock Academy Centaurs that's going to be in the other match. The Notre Dame Green Knights are going to be shown off here as the number 2 seed for Connecticut, and of course Woodstock will be your number 1. And from the Alaskan region, we have the AJ Diamond Aftermath and the Colony Knights. We're going to be seeing the Aftermath in this game facing off against the Notre Dame Green Knights. And the Aftermath, the number 1 seed from Alaska. They won on the national finals, and I remember, or sorry, not the national finals, the regional finals. I remember seeing that one. It was a rather good match. They played pretty well, so I'm excited to see how that one goes. But before we get started, I do want to thank Mob Crush for helping us multi-stream this season. Huge shout out to those guys. But without any further ado, Sido, I think we're about ready to go with this match, eh?
I'm ready to get started.
Let's get the players right in. And again, this is going to be a best of 5 to decide who moves on. Of course, on the other side of the bracket, once again, the Woodstock Academy Centaurs and the, oh boy, who am I looking at? The AJ Diamond Aftermath. The Colony Knights. Colony Knights, that's the one. All right, let's get this one underway, though. If you want to see that match, it'll be on another stream. But right here we are. Best of 5 underway. Notre Dame Green Knights in the orange half. And oh boy, they're starting with a shot, Untitled. Gonna try for the funnel. Drops out in the center, Techers. Can't get that one in towards center. Oh, I see. Bit of a shot on net. Nice save there from Pogo Logo. A shot on both sides of the ball already. As we get this one right underway. It looks pretty even, as we would hope, from the number 1 and number 2 seed from each of the different regions, respectively. A little bit of ping pong action, though. I mean, honestly, what can you expect from a feeler game?
Yeah, first almost minute or so, it's pretty neutral. Balls going back and forth. Some good challenges in the midfield by both teams, but nothing too pressuring for the defense just yet.
Moving back towards the blue side of the ball, Marshall. Well, long clear here. Rookie Carpet. Ooh, the shot on just barely touched out by Entitled. Good influence right there. Potential opportunity the other way. It's going to be Techers at the top of the box. Looking for the shot. Crossbar down, away. The follow-up is just off the post and away. Once again, Icy's going to be able to touch it off to the side, and Marshall will force it out of the corner. Big opportunity there for Notre Dame. They can't quite put that one through. They're going to try and remain on the offensive side. But once again, pretty close call there for the Aftermath.
Yeah, it's good for the team to get this early pressure. Oh, and we see a goal come from a nice shot.
Coming out of the corner here. Nice angle. Way to make use of that one. Marshall, I believe, the title really speaks for itself here. The Insane is what he has equipped, and he has been one of the staple teams for the Aftermath as far as I can remember. He's been one of the more mechanically sound players on that team. So very nice angle from the corner, and finds the upper 90 as well. Good shot placement. And we'll take the lead as they drop it into the corner once more. Looking for another center, but Quirky Carpet can't react to that one in time. Came across just a little bit too fast. That's Techers to lead out of his own end. Good shot on net there. Marshall is able to get across it, though. Notre Dame gets shut down on the offense once again. Some quality shots, but I think a little bit more continuation might help them out pretty well here, and they try and maintain this one on the blue end.
Yeah, looking good for here. If Notre Dame can get a quick counterattack off of these Aftermath offenses, they might be able to turn it around. Aftermath missing the shot right there.
A bit of an awkward situation. They do have the lead, though. 1-0 still in their favor. 2:45 on the clock. That might actually go in, though. Untitled's going to find the left side of the net off the post and in. And they'll equalize right there. Now Aftermath wish they had that other shot back.
Yeah, it's looking like the defenders just weren't ready for him to pull a shot out of that angle. Catching him off guard, and the shot just bounces right in.
Good placement once again on the shot. The Aftermath with Marshall coming in and grabbing the top 90. On the other side of the field, and the Green Knights do manage to find the left side of that there. We have a tie game here in game number 1. Good shot there. Marshall will be able to get up for that one in time. Can't clear it too far away, but finds Icy on the connection. As we pass the half, ball remains at the midfield line, and honestly, it's really difficult to say who has a clear upper hand in this one. The Green Knights, they've had less, I think, total pressure More shots on net, though, as they find another one right there. Corky Carpet will be able to touch it off to the side, but Aftermath, in terms of possession, I feel like they could do a little bit better, but not by much.
Yeah, like you said, Aftermath has more of the offensive pressure, even though the Green Knights may have more shots on goal. Another one goes towards target there.
Dropping back into the midfield will be Icy first up for that ball. Corky Carpet is in the center. Good speed there by Entitled. But we'll just find Marshall. Looking for a potential connection right there. No, now a shot off the crossbar and away. Once again, a good idea. That shot just needs to get a little bit under the crossbar. I feel like if they got a bit more accuracy on their shots, they might be a bit more effective. But now they're playing a little bit of defense here. Corky Carpet was able to get it back to the midfield line. Marshall can't follow that one. Icy, quick to the ball. And once again, that possession comes out. Diamond High School. Really trying to close the gap right here. They want to take the lead. It's going to be Marshall off the back wall. One up, not quite. And a good zone game here by the Notre Dame Green Knights, making them make that play off the back wall, and they are going to have to be incredibly quick. Unfortunately, that defense might break eventually, but for now, it's working them wonders.
Yeah, Diamond High School is doing a good job of pulling all the defenders out, but they just need to capitalize on their shots.
Marshall looking for the double tap, almost finds that one off the post. Icy for the follow, almost in. Techers got to be able to dive across and make the save. 50 seconds now on the clock. Plenty of pressure in favor of Diamond High School in the aftermath. I've now matched the shot count. Icy's going to lead off downfield from the midfield line. Can't find any purchase on the back wall. Good defense there from the Techers. Center from Marshall. Nobody in position to play it. So it drops back to the midfield, Untitled. Going to keep this one in the blue corner for just a second, trying to give his teammates a little bit of time to reset, but it's a runaway ball down the other way. Scores from his own corner to give the aftermath the lead.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Diamond High School is doing a good job of pulling them out. They just can't seem to finish the job.
25 seconds remain now. DHS with the lead. Green Knights have their work cut out for them. Only trailing by one shot, but the possession has been all in favor of the blue team. But now Techers, great opportunity right here. He's in the air with a little bit of a stall. Marshall has to set it off his own back wall. No immediate follow from Notre Dame. Techers will tap it out to the side. If a double commit right there could prove awkward. The final 10. Going to tie it up right here. Good play there from IZ. A little bit of zoning. Marshall's going to slow it down. Pogo logo trying to touch it back to Entitled. It's off the back wall. Quirky with no boost in the tank is able to get it just under the attacker right there. That little tap off the back wall just put it barely out of his reach.
Yeah, Notre Dame probably wishing they had just a few more seconds on the clock right there with all that offensive pressure right at the last few seconds.
Oh, again, a very even shot count. I mean, look at that. I believe it's 11 for Notre Dame and just one fewer for the aftermath. So very close match indeed. And I don't believe the regional finals were this close, so it's nice to see this level of competition coming out here. Diamond High School do have the first game now. Now it's best of 5. Notre Dame is going to be challenged to bring this one back. As we open up with game number 2 with 5 minutes on the clock here. They will start out on the attack. Off the corner wall, Pogo Logo pressuring that one into center. Marshall actually switching out to the Dominus. Very speedy to that play, Corky Carpet. Going to speculate towards the net, just the falls a little bit wide. But again, just a little bit of feeler right in the very beginning. As Icy touches this one upfield, looking for the corner. It just falls out into Techers. I mean, honestly, it's kind of weird to see this kind of reset, but we see it a surprising number of times in high-level play in Rocket League, and it seems to be no different right here. The team's just resetting after game number 1.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have game 1 out of the way and already won. It will help them play a little more relaxed for the rest of the series, unless Notre Dame decides they want to just take 2 games off of them. But it definitely helps them play a little more relaxed and a little better.
Marshall looking for the double tap there. No such luck. Icy's going to return it to the back wall. Quirky Carpet's on top of the box and manages to weave it all through all 3 defenders. A bit of a triple commit there, but unfortunately nobody seemed to make contact.
Yeah, it looked like just some miscommunication right there, and Quirky Carpet just capitalizes on their mistakes.
Well, guess that's one way to do it. Up from the top of the box. Good shot there. Find the left side. Bit of purchase. The Aftermath have the lead here. Looking to move on match point with a win here. Marshall on his own back wall. Bit of an awkward 50-50 there. Drops the Techers, looking to try and make a play on this one. Potential center opportunity. Icy doesn't make contact there. Quirky Carpet's going to be up in the air. No, gets beat out by Poco Logo. It's still in the center, and Untitled's going to be able to put it through. Nice tenacity there from the Green Knights in the corner.
Yeah, right here, Untitled just kind of waited for his opportunity and watched all of the Aftermath players just kind of whiff the ball there, and, you know, easy shot right from the middle of the box.
3 minutes and 41 on the clock. Notre Dame managed to tie it up just then. Oh, that's a rather unfavorable face-off. Entitled on a bit of an awkward spot here. Icy's going to force the issue. Can't get it through. Marshall's going to remain this one in center. Quirky Carpet for the shot. No contact made. And I appreciate the aggression from the Aftermath. I mean, really taking that offensive possession that they had from the last game and trying to transition it into something useful right here. And game number 2, where they need to take this win or move on to match point, it'll be a huge momentum hit for Notre Dame if they do lose out on this game, and for the Aftermath, it's going to be very favorable for them. As we approach the 3-minute mark, Marshall looking for the touch off the ceiling. No, can't get hit underneath the crossbar. Once again, the accuracy just a little bit too low, I suppose is the way we're gonna say that one. But Marshall, I talked about it. He's a bit of a mechanical genius, at least for this Aftermath team. He just couldn't get that one through.
Yeah, here again, he just barely misses the shot. Aftermath has all the pressure right now, as we see Notre Dame trying to transition with a counterattack, but it just kind of gets shut down quickly by Diamond High School.
Yeah, they're really desperately searching for something at this point in time as we approach the half. They do have the tie game, though, so some defense will work you wonders for a little bit, but Marshall finds the angle from the backboard, passing it to himself right after the half. Notre Dame find themselves down by 1.
Yeah, with all this pressure he's creating almost by himself, he was bound and determined to finally find the back of the net, and right here, he finally gets it after pulling out all the defenders.
You mentioned putting all that pressure by himself, and I have to agree with you. I mean, Marshall just being on the offensive end is a force to be reckoned with. Kind of demands an aura of respect. Aftermath going to be starting out on the offense once again. Good touch there from Entitled. Getting off to the side. Now Icy serving it up onto the backboard. Nice bump there from Marshall. Gives Quirky Carpet a shot opportunity off the crossbar down, and Icy did not have the angle on that ball. Looked like he was waiting for it. Could not read it right. Now Marshall, good back pass right there. Has Icy up in the air. Now we passed the 2-minute mark. Aftermath really seemed to be in control, not just in terms of offensive pressure, but I think in possession, especially the midfield line. Right now for Notre Dame, it's going to be a huge challenge just trying to get the ball out of their own half. And I think that's what's really been keeping them out of this game so far.
Yeah, they're having to compensate after Marshall just kind of almost running wild on them. They need to just figure out how to deal with that and then finally transition to a decent counterattack, as we see here as one getting started.
We'll be Entitled to lead that counterattack. Unfortunately, it's taken out of the play. Tucker's off the back wall. Quirky Carpet has to be quick. Is able to do exactly that. And we'll touch it off the sidewall. A little bit of a lack of aggression there, in my eyes, if you're Notre Dame. Kind of left that one out in the center field for just a second. You're mentioning that counterattack could be incredibly helpful, and unfortunately they weren't able to put that one away. There's still 1:10 on the clock. And they are on the blue half right here. I see a bit of a mistouch right there. Techers wasn't able to make contact either. Drops down from Marshall.
Yeah, with only a minute left, you might want to see a little bit more of a sense of urgency from Notre Dame, but it looks like they're trying to put some together here.
Is that a free net for Icy? No, he's actually passing to Marshall. I think he would have had to go by himself, but it's nice to pick it up like that. But I have to agree with you on that one. For Notre Dame, I feel like a sense of urgency was something I touched base on just a moment earlier, actually. I feel like they should have had a man a bit more aggressively placed in the midfield, to be perfectly honest, when they got that one down in front of the net. I believe it was Quirky Carpet. Had plenty of time to get the ball away, and I really feel like they should have tried to close that gap incredibly quickly. But now the Aftermath looking at 45 seconds on the clock with a rather solid 2-goal lead right here. Notre Dame just haven't had an opportunity to put much on net, and a huge clear there from Marshall, going to shut down all offense whatsoever. Takes out Techers as well, looking for a second demo. Doesn't need one, but there is Pogo Logo to make the diving save right in front of Quirky Carpet. Nicely done on the defensive line, but I don't think that's going to be enough for you right now. Great touch there from Marshall. Again, just putting on all this pressure by himself, as you mentioned, Saito. He just seems to be, again, a presence that just kind of invokes fear in the Knights, no matter where they are. And the final 10 ticks down. It looks like it's really been Aftermath's game. I mean, we saw a lot of back and forth in game number 1. And the Green Knights have been able to put on a limited amount of offense right here, but I feel like they're giving a lot of respect to DHS and maybe just a little bit too much.
Yeah, here after going into game 3, they're going to have to make a change for sure. I think what they're doing is letting Marshall have a little bit too much space. They might need to use a little more aggressive play, bumps or demos to really control what he's doing and help them relieve some pressure when they're on defense.
I absolutely agree. So now moving on. Game number 3 of this best of 5. A lot of potential here for Notre Dame to be swept, but we have seen them. The first game was only by 1 goal, a loss by 1 goal. A second game lost by 2 goals. I don't think there's a particular lack of skill here. I just feel like you really hit it on the head. You got to give Marshall a little bit less space. Start respecting your opponents a little bit less. I mean, sure, still let them have a touch once in a while. You can't just start ball chasing. But I feel like it would definitely have some merit to start closing the gap a little bit. Like right here, Marshall, great shot towards the top of the box, but no. Cleared away once again, the follow-up by Quirky Carpet. Again, Marshall, he had just a little bit of time where they didn't quite close the gap between the two of them, and it gave him so much time to take that shot. That's only the first half a minute.
Yeah, one thing that might help Notre Dame, I've noticed in the first 2, as Marshall just puts another one in, is even when Diamond High School is getting clears, Untitled still seems to be there, just kind of lingering, waiting for a bad clear. If they can get more pressure to help him, I think they'll be able to generate a little more offense and maybe potentially give Diamond High School a run for their money.
A nice Doomsday dish off the wall there by Marshall, but I completely agree with you. I feel like a little bit of a maybe targeted clear, I guess is the way we're going to word that one, would really aid Notre Dame in starting to push out of their own half. But it's only the first minute, still plenty of time on the clock, and only down by 1. Plenty of opportunity here. Ball squeeze out onto their other side. Marshall going to keep this one in the zone. Once again, applying all of this pressure by himself. Looking to take out Techers here. Is unable to do so. And this one moving towards center. Untitled is the option, but Icy will be there for the clear. Good read on the defense. And honestly, I mean, we've been giving Aftermath a lot of credit on the offensive side of the ball, but I really feel like their defensive shutdowns are something worth noting as well. In the midfield on their own half. They just seem to be doing it everywhere. The Notre Dame do not have a good opportunity to really clear the ball downfield. But they will get one right here off the top corner. Quirky Carpet's in the air. Marshall actually beats into that ball. A little bit of a double commit might result in a shot against them, but Techers can't quite find the corner. Guys will be taken out for that trouble, and they'll try to continue the offense. But I have to say, that was probably one of the best pushes we've seen from Notre Dame, especially this game. That was their first shot on.
Yeah, and right here, it's looking just like Notre Dame's a little bit scrambled on defense. Maybe just a little more communication, and they just might need to calm down. I'm not sure what the comms are like right now, but I'm sure down 2 games and then down in game 3 isn't helping their situation.
You're absolutely right on that one, and I feel like it might not be just communication issues on the defensive end, but perhaps on the offensive end as well. We've been talking about that. Really, the story of this series so far has been that Notre Dame's getting a lot of respect to DHS, gives them a lot of space to work with on the defensive half, on the offensive half. So perhaps if they just try and tighten up a little bit, they could close that gap. But as we approach the half here, they do remain down by 1. Pogo Logo trying to lead a charge there, but it will fall to Marshall. Now Techers on the back foot. This is a bit awkward as he has to cross in front of the net. Does manage it over top of 2. It could be a potential counter right here. Pogo Logo is the option in center, but Icy will be able to drop it off to his own corner. And once again, a nice shutdown, seemingly against all the odds in that situation. And the Aftermath are able to get Notre Dame right back into their half.
Yeah, and I like that defense from Techers, seeing that Icy pretty much had a free path to net and then decided to go for a bump and slow his momentum down. That was pretty good.
Marshall trying to possess in his own corner. Bit of a missed touch right there. Opens up a window for Pogo Logo, but Icy does take the touch. Marshall looking for the pass down in center. Oh, an accidental team up right there. Looks like Techers had an absolute banger of a shot, but accidentally makes contact with his teammate. Instead, I believe that was Pogo Logo down in the midfield. Very unfortunate right there, and they'll want that one back, but a minute 45 is on the clock, and the fact of the matter is that they did not score. Trying to push down into the offensive zone once again. Icy's going to clear that one to the back wall. Marshall is the playable striker right here. Sends it off to the back wall again. And Quirky Carpet, good respect there from Quirky Carpet. I mean, we were talking about how Notre Dame have been maybe a little bit too respectful of their opponents, and again, want to close the gap. Don't know how many times you're going to hear me say that, but right there, Quirky Carpet playing that defensive midfield, not a bad idea.
Yeah, Diamond High School just seems to be a little more spread out on defense, which is definitely crucial for the 3v3 gameplay style. You know, rarely do they double commit like they do right there, but they're always spread out, ready for almost anything that Notre Dame can throw at them, and then just sends it right back into the red half.
1 minute remaining now. Marshall sending his one onto the back wall, and again, lots of pressure against Dicey can't put that target. Again, Quirky Carpet, that defensive midfield, keeps the counterattack from coming through in full force. We'll drop it off to the side here. Bit of a double commit right there. Pogo Logo is going to be in the air. Can't make contact with that one, though. That's a dangerous miss as Marshall sends it onto the back wall. We'll be able to follow it up. Not quite. Icy's going to keep it in zone. Bit of a double commit once again from DHS. They didn't seem to be being punished very hard. Final 30 seconds. They remain in the lead by 1. Looking to take the complete sweep right here. Notre Dame have to do something if they want to stay alive here in this series and in this final bracket. Retekers drops it on the title. This one off the corner wall. Bit of an awkward touch there from Marshall. Still an opportunity. Pogo Logo is going to lead the charge with Tekers in the corner. The final 10 towards the top of the box. Can they get this one through? Not quite. Unfavorable bounce for Notre Dame. Can they get this one towards the net? Tekers off to the back wall. Finds Purchase. Is there anybody going to be able to keep this one in the air? Not quite. And the Aftermath take it a clean 3-0.
Yeah, and it was almost the same story of all 3 games. Just Notre Dame unable to relieve pressure on defense, and Diamond High School just peppering shots on the net almost the entire game.
Yeah, you really hit it on the head on that one. I mean, we could take a look at the shot count, and in game 1, it was incredibly close. Game 2 was a bit more spread out, I suppose. Game 3 here, though, Notre Dame got completely shut down. Only 1 shot on net. They had what seemed to be a couple of good offensive opportunities, but they could never seem to get the ball angled towards the net. And DHS, once again, with Marshall to lead the charge on that one, being the mechanical genius on that team, managed to pull out 3 shots of his own and the game-winning goal, game and series-winning goal, and they're going to move on.
Yeah, you could definitely tell Marshall was, per se, the captain of this series, just trying to taking charge by himself and having his teammates play very well supporting roles in that series.
Right, the team play was pretty good, so those supporting roles worked out rather well. Again, a shout out to Quirky Carpet for playing that defensive midfield, keeping the effective counterattacks from coming through. But that is that. DHS take it once again over Notre Dame. So congratulations, they will be moving on into the finals. As of right now, I've not been made aware which team has won or is winning the other match. So I'm just going to leave that as an undetermined. But that's going to be it for this series. And once again, thank you, Saito, for joining me for this match. I believe that's going to be all that we're seeing from you for tonight. But it was wonderful casting with you, and it was wonderful for me. And we'll be right back after a bit of a short break. We're going to be moving over. I'm not certain if we're going to be moving over to the other channel or not. And I'm getting a notice in my head. We're getting on the same channel. So make sure you come back. We're going to have the finals ready after a bit of a short break. I'm Squid. This was Saito, and we'll be right back.